This is the Swindon Advertiser rolling off the presses today. Affectionately known as the Adver, the newspaper has always been at the heart of its community. Most Swindonians have appeared in its pages at some point in their lives. Gavan, editor of the Swindon Advertiser, tells us of the challenges of leading his team of journalists through today's world of news gathering.
I started my role at the start of the year, and since then we've largely got a new team of reporters. That's allowed them to come in with a new, improved focus, looking at how we're doing digital. Obviously, the paper is hugely important. Having the reporters now focusing on how we tell our stories online, how we best speak to our digital audience, and then in tandem with that, making sure that we're making the paper that goes out every day the very, very best it can be.
Having a good working relationship with the police, ambulance and fire brigade is essential for reporters on the front line.
So what has called you out here today?
So we've been called to a report of a fire alarm in a building about 12:40 this afternoon. If we turn up and there's smoke pouring out of the building, then we will go straight into an action and let the firefighting know.
I've been in the newspaper for 34 years now, so I think I'm in editorial. I'm probably the longest serving member of staff. Been involved in major stories, some tragic ones. We were pretty active for the Hungerford massacre, which was in 1987. Working around the clock with that one. In the more recent times, we sadly covered the murder of Charlotte O'Callaghan.
They say a picture tells 1,000 words, and for the last few years the Advertiser has had photojournalist Tom Kelsey at the helm.
The best part of the job's been always being out and about. Every day's different, but we've done things up at Rawn Airfield where we photographed different parts of Charles Darwin's diaries, and we photographed things to do with Napoleon, his drawings before he invaded Egypt, apparently, and then we've met lots of different people, politicians, getting Jeremy Corbyn's phone number before he became leader of the opposition, which was quite interesting. What else? Oh, lots of different things. Running from about 2,000 Oxford fans one time across the Magic Roundabout.
Old copies of the Swindon Advertiser are a social record of the town's history, and feature writer Barrie Hudson chatted to town historian and former journalist on the Adver, Graham Carter, about their importance for Swindon's heritage.
There are some images of the newspaper as it was in the old building. So, for example, this one, I guess, judging by the cars, dates from the late 50s, perhaps the early 1960s, of the Adver building.
And of course, it goes back a long way, the Adver, 1854.
1854.
Almost to the beginning of New Swindon. And it's the same year that the Mechanics Institute was built as well. So it's quite significant in Swindon's history.
This is this was the second of the 3 buildings we've occupied, I believe. Yeah. The first one being an office in Wood Street, the shop premises.
An amazing man, William Morris. He's one of those people that you really wish you could have met, because he was a pioneer. The Adver was the first provincial penny monthly, I think.
Yeah. Many youngsters dream of becoming a sports writer, but the reality can be very different, as John Carter, former Adver sports journalist and current assistant editor of the Oxford Mail, tells us.
I joined the Swindon Advertiser in 1999 and had probably the happiest 18 months of my life working on the sports desk. We used to literally go off to a game and then come back and write up our stories and then design the pages. I've had one trip to Norwich in midweek. We went down on a Wednesday night. Game obviously kicked off at 7:45. Probably were back on the road by about 10:30. By the time we got back into the office, it was a horrible trip back. It was probably about 2 o'clock, and then we left at 6:30, having designed all the pages, so people were coming in to start their day we were leading.
Today it is Group Sports Editor Owen Houlihan who runs the Advertiser sports desk, and he tells us how his team juggles coverage of all the Wiltshire titles.
Been at the sports desk for more than 15 years. Well, there's been a lot of change. Obviously, the desk had to amalgamate, which meant a complete redesign of what we do, really, and how we do it. The thing we've sort of really kept at the forefront of it is trying to go to as many live events as possible and cover them. Our live output on the websites and via social media has proved very, very popular.
Local government reporter Tom Haworth goes behind the scenes of Swindon Borough Council.
It's a very interesting role at the moment. I involve myself mainly with the inner workings of Swindon Borough Council, which is a very interesting job. You get to meet a lot of strange and wonderful people. I deal with the MPs on a daily basis, Robert Buckland in the south, Justin Tomlinson in the north. It's a very, I think it's a very good relationship, generally speaking.
The Swindon Advertiser of today may appear very different, and certainly the process of producing the paper has changed beyond the imaginings of those operating the presses in 1854. But the passion of the reporters and production staff to give Swindon the best possible daily paper remains.